Hello and welcome to Equity in Action, Inclusion and Accessibility at your fingertips. My name is Rechelle Mojica.
And I'm Denise Maduli-Williams.
And welcome to our short recorded poster presentation for the Peralta 2025 Equity Conference.
So just a quick tour of our presentation. We will be covering inclusive language, the accessibility dashboard, accessibility checkers, Immersive Reader, and feedback options. All of these are tools that are available within our Canvas, and they are ways to increase accessibility and engagement for all of our students.
So for people without disabilities, technology makes things easier. For people with disabilities, technology makes things possible. This is a quote from an IBM training manual back in 1991. So inclusive language. When possible, use person-first language. So the goal is that we want to be able to see the person first, not just the disability. So inclusive language is a powerful tool for equity. It affirms identity and really invites participation. So we have an example here on the screen of using person with autism versus autistic person.
Okay, so we wanted to share about the accessibility dashboard. This is a really powerful tool that's built right into our LMS like Canvas. And you can see that it reviews the course content that you have in your course. And it can do multiple things. It can flag errors. It can alert you to different things that are happening. And it doesn't just show you what's wrong or what might be missing, but it then shows you ways to correct that. So this might look overwhelming at the beginning, but if you just take a look at it, we can see that there are some things that are pointed out, such as low color contrast, empty links, some alt text missing. You can see it's also flagged things like PDFs and YouTube videos. So just by having this snapshot of courses in your accessibility dashboard, you can then identify where there might be barriers to your students, and then you can work to start correcting them.
So there also are some other built-in accessibility tools. So when you are creating the content in the content pages of your Canvas course, you will notice at the bottom of the content box is an accessibility checker, which has been indicated here on the screen. And what that will do is it will quickly point out or highlight areas of inaccessible content. So that may be something like the color contrast not being adequate for someone with low vision, or maybe there is an image that's missing its alt text, or maybe you need to add headings in or bulleted lists. So it will provide not only the areas that you might want to consider revising, but it will also provide you with options for how to make those corrections. If it's something like a decorative image that's not providing any real learning materials or content, it gives you the option to select decorative image. It'll also give you some sample alt text. You might want to just read those over and see if it's appropriate for your particular image. Once you have completed all of the accessibility checks, you will get the little birthday surprise balloons that says that no accessibility issues were detected. That's a great way to know that you have corrected and fixed any of the accessibility issues within the content page. Another great tool that is within the Canvas learning system is the Immersive Reader. If you haven't checked that out, it is at the top right of your content pages. And what it will do is it will convert the materials that are on your content page into text. This text then can be can be changed as far as the size, the font, color. You can have it read out loud to you. You can choose a male or female voice. You can change the speed of of how it's read. And this is really a built-in tool to help students support their understanding of the content and materials. It's also a great way to check to make sure that the information that you've provided would be clear to someone who might be using a screen reader or a tool to read the content on your Canvas page.
Okay, I think that a lot of us are familiar with the SpeedGrader comment section when we review student materials and we give feedback to them. That's such an important way of communicating with our students. And the great thing about the tools within Canvas is that they allow us to have multiple ways to give feedback to students. So normally we just type everything, but there's an ability to do voice to text and to do video responses to our students. This is great because it individualizes the process for students. It makes it more human. And the greatest thing about this is you don't have to go out, to Canvas Studio or to YouTube or to some other tool to record it and then import it. You simply click, as you can see below, the video icon, and it will automatically record it and embed it right there in SpeedGrader for you. Now, one of the things I used to do to find out how students would like to get feedback is I would have a Google form at the beginning of the semester asking students their preferences for getting feedback, and they would check it off. But I found out that students have differences in how they like to receive feedback depending on the assignment. So I'm an English professor, so if there's a long essay, students sometimes prefer having the feedback written so they can go back and review the notes very carefully. Other students just prefer, a video, or we're doing some type of assignment where video feedback is easier for them. So I actually ask them this when they submit the assignment. When they submit the assignment, I ask them to put in the comments how they would prefer to receive feedback, or if it's up to me. The other way I do this is within the discussion boards. So we're also very familiar with discussion boards. Those are very text heavy, but that screen grab you see on the left here of this screen is also the same within discussion boards. So when students go to create a discussion board post or we go to reply to them, we can also click video or voice to text as well. Allowing students to have the voice and choice in how they create their content and show their understanding is really useful for everyone. And then being able to pepper in some of those replies from myself with video also just makes it more interactive, and all of it is accessible for all students. So I really encourage all of you to try different ways to provide feedback and to allow students to have the choices to do that themselves as well. Okay, so we've gone over quite quickly just a few small tools that are right at your fingertips within Canvas. We can start small to make big changes. So this is our call to action for all of you to try out using one of these tools and make everything more accessible and equitable for all of our students.
And so our final thought, when we remove barriers, we open doors to learning, to growth, and to the success that every student deserves. So thanks for listening.
Thank you.